Hello YouTube. The game I'm about to share with you was played on Saturday, August 3rd. I had the black pieces against Royce Pereira, and this was a very exciting game, which I was very fortunate to win. So, started out with an English attack, c4. I played knight f6, and g3 was played. So, I immediately played c6, and my plan is to play d5, and then possibly e6, and blunt the light squared bishop. So bishop g2, d5, c takes d5, c takes d5, d4. I played knight c6, knight c3, and before I'd like to play e6, I first want to get my bishop on c8 outside of the pawn chain so he's not hemmed in. And my initial thought was to bring it to f5, but then I decided to play bishop g4, and the point is, in order for white to remove the bishop, he has to play some weakening moves on his king side, so maybe I'd have a chance to exploit that. h3, and I took the bishop back on h5, and then Royce plays knight to f3, and so I play e6. Now my dark square bishop can get into the game, castles, and I play a6. So I think the best square for my bishop would be on d6, but I first want to play a6, so the knight won't be harassing my bishop, like say bishop knight to b5 would be played. a3, and I get my bishop on d6. e3. So yeah, and going back, it was kind of hard to decide what you do with the dark square bishop for white, because if you bring it to f4, then I can just capture and create weaknesses on the king side, and g5 doesn't look so good because then I play h6, and then if there were to be a capture on f6, the queen captures, and then there's pressure against the knight on f3. So e3 was played. White's probably planning to solve the problem of his bishop later. I castle, b4, and there's only one open file on the board, so I played my rook to c8, and I'm also threatening to take on b4 since the knight would be hanging out there on c3. Bishop b2, defending the knight, and finally moving the bishop, so there's connection for the rooks on white's first rank. I played b5, and queen b3 was played. And here I came up with the plan of doubling my rooks on the c file. So first I get my queen out of the way with queen to d7. Knight e1 was played, and I saw that the knight's probably coming to d3, and then is probably going to land on the c5 outpost. So I played bishop g6, and that momentarily keeps the knight out of d3. Rook d1, and I double my rooks with 16 rook c7, and knight d3 was played. So I capture. I can't allow the knight to come to c5. Otherwise, the doubling my rooks on the c file would seem like a huge waste of time. Rook takes d3, and rook fc8, rook fd1, and here I thought for a long time, and I played knight d8, and is an inaccuracy on my part. My idea is to play it to b7, and then probably play a5, and also on b7, if I were to move my bishop, it could access the d6 square and possibly get to c4. But it was a bit slow, and I should have foreseen white playing e4, because white has doubled rooks on the d file, and white should open up the position, otherwise the rooks don't really make sense there. But yeah, so instead of knight d8, knight e7, And I had thought about this, but what why I decided against it was because say e4 wouldn't be played, then where's my knight going on e7? But it would have been better because since white should play e4, and then I capture. Knight takes e4, knight takes e4, and you'll see why the knight is better on e7. Bishop takes e4, rook c4, and this actually stops white from playing d5. So like let's say d5 were to be played, I would just capture, the pawn recaptures, and it seems like my bishop's falling since there's a double attack revealed with the opening of these rooks. But then I can just come down, capture on e6 with the rook, and everything's defended. So if I were to have seen this far, then I probably would have gone with knight e7. But knight d8 was played, and then e4, so opening up the position. Takes e4, knight takes e4, and so yeah, the knight in this position is again threatening to come to c5. So I capture, bishop captures, knight b7, and g4. And I was not aware of the point of this move, but as you can see, the computer showing playing d5 is a threat in this position, because I can't play e5 keeping things closed, because I'll lose the exchange with bishop f5. But I didn't see the point of g4. I kind of brushed it off, and I thought, oh, I should play bishop f4, getting to this nice square where it can't be kicked away from pawns, and then maybe I can play my knight to d6 and c4. So I was too concerned with my own plans. I wasn't concerned enough with my opponent's plans. d5. I play e5 because I wanted to keep things closed. I didn't want to open the rooks up, but then I get this nice skewer thrown at me. And it's a pretty terrible position from this point, but I decided to fight on and just see what happens. So I played queen d6, bishop captures on c8, rook takes c8, and rook c3. So this makes perfect sense. Just trade me down, and yeah, that should be an easy strategy to just win. And I captured, so probably in this position maybe a move like rook e8 or rook d8 would have been slightly better, but it just seemed very passive, and then I'm having to face like the rook coming in on c6. So I thought during the game that just capturing the rook would have given me better chances. Queen recaptures, knight to d8, and queen c5. So at this point I definitely can't afford another trade. I play queen to f6, d6, pushing the passed pawn, but also giving my knight the e6 square. So kind of double-edged. Probably I was concerned with bishop c1 in this position. That might have been good, but d6 is actually still winning. So I played h5, trying to open things up and maybe even get a perpetual check if I'm lucky. Queen c8, and here I quickly played king h7 because I knew that I needed to play with my knight. I can't have it pinned there. But again, I missed queen check on f5. I guess I was just sort of blind to that square during this game, and that would be enough to win. I guess Royce wasn't too optimistic about his chances of simplifying the position, but it's totally fine for white. Instead, though, queen d7 was played, and I play my knight to e6. queen e7, and queen g6, d7. So white's still winning here, even though I'm getting some counterplay now with knight g5. A couple alternatives the computer recommends in this position are either queen c2 or bishop g5, and both of which are still losing. I thought that knight g5, just getting my knight into the game, would be the best during the game, but nothing is really quite good here. I went with my instincts on knight g5, d8 equals queen, knight takes h3 check, king to f1, queen takes g4, and queen to d3 check was played in the game. Still winning for white, but a better move would have been queen to h4 in this position, and I'm pretty much busted here. If I play check, king goes to e2, and then I'm just losing even more material since my knight and queen is hanging. So I don't really have a great move in this position. But queen d1, or queen d3 check, I'm sorry, still winning for white. King to h6, queen e d6 check, f6. If I were to play g6, then the queen could check again on f8. So I think f6 is the better move, not to allow any more checks. And queen c5. So I was threatening to play queen g1 check, and then after king e2 is forced, queen takes f2 is checkmate. So queen c5 was played to defend the f2 pawn. And at this point, Royce was under severe time pressure. I think he had less than 5 minutes on his clock. So I played bishop g5, and the threat is now it renews the threat to play queen g1 check, and then after king e2, knight f4 check. But it was at this point that Royce played the significant blunder of rook b1, and at this point black is winning. Instead, bishop c1, sorry, going back, after I play bishop g5, bishop c1 does the trick nicely, because now knight f4 check would just be captured. So like if I played queen g1 check, king goes to e2, and then knight f4 check, bishop just captures, and then I have nothing. So yeah, after this I could probably just resign with a clear conscience. But rook b1 was played, and now the game takes a turn in my favor. I play queen g1 check, king goes to e2, knight to f4 check, king f3, queen g4 check, and king to e3. And surprisingly, I missed checkmate in this move, checkmate in 1. It's either knight d5 is checkmate, knight e2 is checkmate, knight e6 is checkmate, knight g6 is checkmate. And I guess the reason why I missed this is because, I mean, I know I looked at knight e2 check during the game, but I think I saw that the king had an escape square to e4, but that's not the case because my queen is guarding that square. So I guess I just imagined moving my knight, but then I still thought my queen was blocked for some reason. So that was just a visualization problem on my part. Instead I played knight takes d3 check, which is still winning. Luckily I calculated this correctly. King takes d3, otherwise I would have just captured the queen on any other move. And yeah, as you can see, after the king is going to capture that knight, I'll play queen to f5 check, picking up the rook on b1. and then so I win all that material back, and now I'm up on 3 pawns. So that's a pretty significant advantage at this point. Also, the white king is exposed while my king is pretty safe. Queen c8 was played, and here I just play some checks so I can maneuver my queen to a better position. Queen e1, king goes to b3, queen d1 check, king a2, queen d5 check, so getting centralized, king goes to a1, and now I play h4, and that pawn is marching up the board. Obviously I'm threatening to promote. Queen goes to f5, and I'm pretty sure at this point Royce had only 1 second on his clock, and he was making all of his moves with the time added, which is, so we had to make each move within 6 seconds. And I had lots of time, I think like 30 minutes. So queen h1 check, king a2, and then I play h3. Now queen c8, threatening to play queen h8 check. So I play this nice little maneuver, queen d5 check, king goes to a1, and my pawn is being threatened, so I defend it by playing queen to d3. And also, if the queen goes to h8, I can just block on h7. So queen h8 check, I block, queen goes to c8, and now there's actually no threat, because I calculated that this would be winning for me to just play h2, queen h3 check, king g6, and then queen d3 check, f5, queen d6 check, and bishop f6. Now there are no more checks in this position, and my pawn is ready to promote. Bishop takes e5, h1 equals queen check, king goes to b2, queen e4, so getting my queen centralized. Bishop takes f6, g takes f6, queen g3 check, I block, queen e3, threatening queen e8 check, so I just get my other queen centralized while guarding that e8 square. King goes to c2, queen d1 check, king c3, queen c4 check, and king b2, and here I have another mate in 1, which I missed, and I remember exactly what I was thinking during this part. I was like, okay, king is off of c3, so now I can just play either queen to d4 and pick up the other queen, and that's what I went with. That was my initial thought that I went with. So it should have occurred to me to play for mate in this position as well, but I guess I went with the first winning move I saw. So that's probably a lesson for me. I should try to find the best continuation. Anyway, queen d4 check, queen takes, I recapture with check, king goes to c2, I take on f2, king d3, and now queen e1, and the rest is just really a matter of technique. a4, queen e4 check, king c3, f4, a takes b5, a takes b5, king goes to b2, queen d3, and I'm just trapping the king in a smaller box, and king c1, queen e2, and here Royce resigns. So yeah, this game was pretty crazy, and there was just several points that I should have lost. I was down a whole lot of material, and if I just lost one more piece, then that would have been it for me. But luckily I was able to generate some counterplay, and hopefully the next time I play with Royce I won't get kicked around so much, but by that time Royce will probably be like 100 rating points ahead of me, because that seems to be the trend. Anyway, that's it for this installment. More chess videos on the way. Alright, peace.